Are you thinking about picking up a Medicare Advantage plan in 2025? Well, these plans are more popular than ever, but is it the right fit for you? Hi, I'm Larry Goist, owner of LMS Insurance Group, where we help seniors navigate the Medicare Maze. So in today's short video, I'm telling you guys the pros and cons of Part C Medicare Advantage plans, and I'm going to go over three real basic topics. So number one, I'm going to give you a very high-level overview of what Medicare Advantage is. Then secondly, I'm going to tell you some of the strong points or the pros of Medicare Advantage. And then lastly, I'll go over some of the pitfalls and we'll touch on the cons of Part C plans. And that's all coming up next. Hey, before I dive in, don't forget to like our channel. Definitely subscribe if you find this helpful. I really appreciate you doing that. Okay, so what is a Part C Medicare Advantage plan? Well, for starters, these Part C plans are offered by private insurance companies. So you have to have Medicare A and B to enroll in a Part C Medicare Advantage plan. But in essence, when you take a Part C plan, that insurer now becomes your primary payer, and Medicare no longer has to foot the bill. So an Advantage plan is going to offer you your hospital coverage, your doctor coverage, and then most of the times extra benefits like dental, vision, and other ancillary products all under one roof. But now that private company is your primary payer. And that insurer has a contract with Medicare. So they have to follow certain rules set forth by Medicare. For example, all Medicare Advantage plans have to cover preventative services at no cost. All Part C Medicare Advantage plans must have what's called a maximum out-of-pocket on the plan. So these companies have a contract with Medicare. They are following the rules set by Medicare, but when you enroll in their plan, now they are your primary payer and original Medicare no longer is. Now, in terms of who offers these types of plans, well, the same companies that offer Medicare supplements generally offer Medicare Advantage plans. And that's why talking about coverage can be confusing. Because I'll have a client say to me, well, my sister has Humana. But that doesn't tell you anything because Humana offers supplements and Humana offers Part C Medicare Advantage plans. So very often, the same companies that offer supplements will also offer Medicare Advantage plans. And now, as you can see from the chart on the screen, these Medicare Advantage plans have become really popular options. And now over half of eligible Medicare beneficiaries, in fact, 54% enroll in Part C Medicare Advantage plans. Now guys, that's a real high-level overview of how these plans work. If you want a more detailed video, I've made separate videos that go into depth on exactly all the intricacies of these plans, and that'll be linked in the description below. Okay, so what are some pros of having Part C Medicare Advantage plans? Well, the first positive is that most Part C plans come with no additional premium. So you are able to pick out a Part C Advantage plan and you don't have to pay any more money a month. But remember, to have Part C, you have to have Medicare A and B. So you do have to still pay your Part B Medicare premium. So you're able to pick up a zero premium plan that is going to give you fixed cost called copays. So under original Medicare, with no Advantage plan or no supplement, you're paying 20% of all Medicare approved charges. Whereas on a Medicare Advantage plan, you're usually paying fixed dollar amounts called copays. And more times than not, those fixed copays are going to be less than 20% that you would have been billed under original Medicare. Okay, now another positive of these plans is that most Advantage plans have extra benefits all built under one plan. So the majority of Part C plans are going to include things like dental, vision, and hearing benefits. Now, each plan is unique and will offer a different package of benefits. There might be a Medicare Advantage plan that has $10,000 in dental benefits, where you might find another where you could only use your dental for preventative services. But it is common amongst almost all Part C Advantage plans where you will receive some sort of extra benefit, whether that be dental, vision, hearing, or whether it be another ancillary product like an over-the-counter allowance. But all of these types of things come part of Part C Advantage plans. So the third pro is all-in-one plan simplicity. You only have to have one card for all services. The card you use to go to your doctor is the same card you're going to use to go to the pharmacy, which is the same card you're going to use at the dentist. So it is one package of benefits wrapped under one roof with one insurer with one health insurance ID card. Now, the last positive of Medicare Advantages that I will cover is that each plan has to include what's called a maximum out-of-pocket. So a maximum out-of-pocket is the most that you, the beneficiary, can pay in one calendar year for covered services. So this works to your advantage. If a company puts a $4,000 maximum out-of-pocket on your plan, that means it doesn't matter what happens to you, whether you have 7 surgeries, you're in the nursing home for 30 days, whether you have cancer treatment, no matter what you do in that calendar year, you can never be billed more than your maximum out-of-pocket. And that is the huge difference between having a Medicare Advantage plan or having original Medicare with nothing else. Is that on original Medicare, you are billed 20% to infinity. And on Medicare Advantage, you pay no extra premium to get the plan, but you have a cap on what you could spend. And this is one of the most overlooked parts of Advantage plans. There's going to be people watching this video that you have a negative opinion on Medicare Advantage plan, and that's okay. But what most of those people overlook is that if you kept original Medicare and nothing else, you would be billed 20% to infinity. So for people that can't afford or that don't want to afford a Medigap plan, they're able to enroll in a Part C Advantage plan and they can reduce their risk drastically because you've went from a scenario under original Medicare where you could be billed 20% to infinity to a Part C Advantage plan that cost you no extra money and now put a cap on what you could be billed in a calendar year. So again, those 4 major positives the Medicare Advantage plans are: you can get plans with $0 premiums. These are offered all over the nation. Number 2, you're going to have extra benefits built into that plan, whether it be dental, vision, hearing, or other ancillary benefits. Thirdly, you're going to have all-in-one simplicity. One card, one provider for all your services. And then fourthly, you're going to drastically reduce your risk compared to original Medicare because you're going to have that maximum out-of-pocket built in your plan. Now, Medicare Advantage plans aren't always perfect, and there's certainly some drawbacks of these type of plans you should be aware of. So let's dive in. So cons of Medicare Advantage plans. Well, number 1 is that you will be restricted to a network. So under original Medicare or original Medicare with a supplement, you have no network, which means you can go to any doctor that accepts Medicare. But when you have a Part C Medicare Advantage plan, you're going to have to get your services from in-network providers. And depending on where you live, that network can be robust, it could be great, or that network might be very skimpy and it might not have a lot of providers. But that all varies on where you live in the U.S. As if you're in an area like Cleveland, Ohio, odds are your network is going to be very strong. Where if you're in a very rural area or a rural state, your networks are going to be more limited, have less providers, then you might have to drive further time to find in-network providers. Okay, the number 2 drawback to a Medicare Advantage plan is it does require prior authorization. So prior authorization means that the insurer must approve the service. They must agree that the service you're about to have is medically necessary. And there is data on this from Health and Human Services that, and the most recent data they could find, that 7% of prior authorizations are declined. So 7 out of every 100 pre-approvals have a negative outcome. They're declined. Now, you are able to appeal that decision, and when you do, more times than not, you win the appeal. But the bottom line is, Medicare Advantage does require prior authorizations, and that could lead to delay in services or a straight-out denial of an important medical service. Okay, and one more negative of Medicare Advantage is that these plans are only 1-year contracts. So you could be watching this saying you love your Part C Medicare Advantage plan, but in 2026, that plan might not exist anymore. Or it might exist, but it might have went through some drastic changes. So if Medicare Advantage is going to be the right fit for you, you certainly have to review your plan annually, because the benefits and the costs in your plan this year are not going to be the same next year. So it does take a little bit of work on your side, the Medicare beneficiary, to make sure you're in the right Part C Advantage plan every year, if that's the route you decide to take. So guys, to conclude, with now over 54% of people on Medicare being enrolled in Medicare Advantage plans, these plans offer a great alternative to paying premiums for Medigap coverage. But they're not right for everybody. You're going to have certain pros as far as having no premium, having extra benefits, and having that max out of pocket. But you're also going to find a few drawbacks. You will be restricted to a network. You will have to get prior authorizations for certain services, and your plan will change every year. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. I'll talk to you next time. Larry Goist, LMS Insurance Group. Thanks for watching.